Hey everybody, welcome back to the Adventures of Anton. What do we look at first? Maybe the news? The Brutish Freedom Front, the BFF, poisons Sordish schools? It has come to light that BFF propaganda has been found in schools that teach the British language. Oh, wait, you mean poisoning them with indoctrination and thoughts? I thought you meant with, like, poison. Indicating a sinister effort to radicalize young people in the British majority areas. Governor Braun's swift action in bringing attention to this issue highlights his commitment to protecting the citizens of Bergia from the BFF's harmful influence. Governor Braun also proposed to introduce a ban on the British language as a primary education language towards ensuring national unity and preventing further radicalization. How is that going to prevent that? When you say you can't speak your own language? He called on lawmakers to immediately draft a bill that enforces Sordish education to all citizens of Sordland. We believe it is essential that the government takes immediate action to address the BFF's recruitment strategies and properly enforce the national language of Sordland. Governor Braun's leadership in this matter is commendable, and we fully support his efforts to safeguard our country's security. I think that's a bad idea. A burden on the taxpayer from Sordland today. The government's decision to invest in the Gruny Rural Development Investment Plan has sparked controversy. Critics argue that such an investment will only serve to burden the taxpayer without guaranteeing tangible benefits. They urge the government to reconsider its approach and explore more cost-effective measures to secure our food supplies. That's because we're spending money to modernize farming equipment in that area. I understand why people would be skeptical, but we're still doing it. Peter Vectrin throws a lavish party. That made the news. Uh-oh. Vice President Peter Vectrin threw a lavish party at his new 1.5 million Sordish Ren 3-story Erlery mansion. That makes us look horrible. Which was attended by high-profile businessmen and politicians, including President Rayne and the Minister of Rural Development, Gus Manger, according to our sources from the Old Capitol. Nonetheless, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. It is worrying that Rayne and Vectrin are throwing parties and having hidden meetings during the economic recession with so much trouble surrounding our nation. Of course that looks bad. It looks awful. We're in the middle of a recession, and our VP's got this super fancy rich mansion and throwing rich parties. I shouldn't have gone. I didn't have a choice, I don't think, but oh no. From the prism of leadership, the president and his administration have been an absolute failure. Extravagance and secrecy never ever stops with this president. We've been pretty transparent, but yeah, it is a bad look. I'll admit, going to Pete's party ended up being a bad look. I didn't know it was going to be like that. Oh, and in the geopolitical, Sordland accepts aid from Arcadia. We already know that. President Rayne's decision reinforced his campaign pledge to pivot Sordland westward towards Arcadia. This move, viewed by some as the president taking a stance in the international arena, aligns Sordland with Arcadia, a significant superpower with enduring regional influence. That's our goal. We want to join NATO. I guess that's all the news we're going to look at. And then we've got some regional stuff. Let's start with this. The BFF and the Brutish education. All right, this just says what we already saw. Governor Braun of Bergia sees... He wants to ban the Brutish language. I don't like that. Privatization in education. The new privatization plan of the Ministry of Education is in full swing, and the first dozen public schools have transitioned into for-profit organizations already after a public bidding process determined by the buyers. Minister of Education, Ciara Walda, said that only a small percentage of all institutions will be allowed to transition. It is expected that the ministry will gather a substantial amount of private funds from the initiative. Good. HSU, the Whole Sword University fire investigation, suspended? A lack of further evidence from the investigation into the fire that occurred at the Holster State University Archives has caused the case to be suspended until further notice from the police and the SID. The cordon has been lifted. Why did they suspend that? If you remember, like, in a really early episode, like, a bunch of files burned there long ago, and we don't know what was in them. Finally, the opening of the Benfi Festival. Maybe this is a party that won't backfire on us. Our motorcade slowly made its way towards the magnificent Benfi High Arts Center. Night was falling, and the festival was about to begin. I flipped through the brochure that had been given to us at the hotel. On the front page there was the face of Curtin Lesty, mayor of Enrica. He was a Benfi native who had a long-standing relationship with the city's current mayor and had been personally invited to make tonight's opening speech. If you remember, our wife wanted us to intercede and get him bumped, but I was like, I'm not doing that. The Benfi Festival was one of the biggest events of the year. It originally marked the start of the annual religious pilgrimage, a weeks-long journey still undertaken by devout Neurists. But today it was better known as a cultural celebration that drew thousands of revelers to the city. There were film screenings, concerts, theater and dance performances, art exhibitions, and celebrity-studded nightly galas. The opening ceremonies were broadcast on TV and watched by millions. As the car slowed, a coterie of reporters and security guards rushed to meet us. I turned my attention to my lovely wife, Monica. Since I'd refused to let her make the opening speech, her attitude toward me had changed. She not only spoke to me if I asked her a question, or if it was something important concerning the children. Fucking A, woman! It wasn't like there was an opening for a speech. They had already settled on a speaker, and you've been giving me the cold shoulder this whole time? You know what? I'm going to ask something I know what the answer is, right? But she's going to want to talk about it, so are you still angry about my decision? She didn't reply at all. She clearly did not want to pursue this topic any further. As Serge opened the door, we were enveloped by the roar of the crowd. The next few minutes were a blur of handshakes, photos, and reporters' questions. The onlookers cheered, yay, as we walked the red carpet to the newly built arts center. We followed the guards through the cavernous white halls until we came to the set of arch doors leading to the auditorium. We waited as security did a quick sweep of the area, then headed in. I had been asked to make a quick set of remarks introducing Curtin Leste. I beckoned Monica to join me on the podium. I'm gonna go find my seat. I invited you up here! Monica brushed past me, took her seat in the front row, and crossed her arms. I walked alone to the podium. I spoke for just a minute, reading a paragraph my speechwriter had churned out about the importance of the festival and Benfi to Sordland. I concluded by inviting Curtin Lesty, the mayor of Enrica, to the podium. I stepped down and joined Monica in the front row. Her arms were still folded. Welcome to the first day of the Benfi Festival, man! He paused for a moment to let the crowd cheer, and his eyes briefly met mine. I'm gonna nod. This is a night for the people of Benfi, indeed for the people of Sordland, to put aside their differences and come together in celebration. Yet as we unite for the festivities, y'all, we must remember the real reason we're gathered here. The crowd fell silent. The people were giving their full attention to what he had to say. The festival was founded around the principles of our cherished religion, man, Nurity. Yet over the years, it's been severed from its sacred roots and become something else, something more perverse. An excuse for public drunkenness and grotesque displays of the flesh, an occasion for young women to parade their bodies and engage in lascivious behavior, man. As he went on, I could see Monica become increasingly agitated. Oh, God. What in the hell is he talking about? Lascivious behavior? What century does he think we live in? What am I going to say? I could tell her to be quiet. I'm not going to do that. I got to go home with her. I could pretend not to hear her, which would be kind of fair, right? If she's being a cunt to me, you want to give me the quiet treatment? Maybe it's time I fucking do the same to you. I could say, I don't know, just let it be. No, I'm just going to pretend not to hear it. Oh, I don't hear anything I was saying. I don't hear any whining. Couldn't possibly hear that. Fucking been a bitch to me for weeks because I didn't bump this guy for you? Yeah, I'm not digging his speech either, but whatever. Monica turned back to watching the speech, a frown on her face. Perversion hidden under the guise of art is not befitting the beautiful city of... The crowd was becoming restless. Many of the younger attendees were murmuring in disagreement, while a few of the older ones were nodding vigorously. As I said, perversion, perverts, hidden under the guise of art is not be... Enough! Well, it's too late to tell her not to make a scene. The hall fell silent. Monica rose and continued. Mr. Lesty, it's not young women who are a disgrace to this fine festival, but you! Oh, God. I'm trying to get a constitution through. You and your backwards, puritanical attitudes, which have been holding this country back for far too long. I'm just gonna watch the events unfold. Like, can I get some popcorn? My bitch about to unleash on this man. I'm not gonna tell her to sit down. Whatever, she her own person. Monica turned to face the audience, speaking loud enough to be heard without a microphone. Women of Sordland, we must not let people like Mr. Lesty use religion as a justification to demean and oppress us. Our time has come. Shocked gasps ran through the crowd. A few people rose and applauded. Curtin Lesty waited to speak. I think Mrs. Rayne is forgetting her place. What do you think my place is, Mr. Lesty? The kitchen? This festival is not about your retrograde traditions. We're living in modern times now. It's 1954. If this isn't your place to decide how the people of Benfi, especially the women, should be celebrating their own festival? I could tell you that's enough. No, I'm not doing that. Let her speak. Let her speak, man. We're already this far in. Why not? I kept watching in excited silence. I looked at the podium to see Curtin Lesty's piercing gaze on me. Uh-oh, he's mad now. Because he's like, I can't unload on your bitch because it's your bitch. But dude, your bitch making me look bad. You know that's what people be thinking. There would surely be a price to pay for... Oh, no! Oh, fuck. Mr. President, could you please control your wife before she embarrasses herself any further? You know, there's something you may or may not know about me, those of you watching. I know I may sound articulate and make titty jokes, but then also know about Khrushchev and history. But deep down, I cannot resist my DNA, who I am, and you know what? I'm white trash. You know what, Curran? My wife is absolutely right. You don't be coming after my bitch. You do not be coming after my bitch. I may have problems with her, but you do not be coming after my bitch. She is right. Monica looked at me, surprise registering on her face. Yeah, I know you're looking for this suave, sophisticated, impressive dude. I can't help who I is. Thank you, Anton. Do I need to stab a bitch? I turned to Curtin. You know what? In for a penny, in for a pound. Your task was to give an opening speech, not a moral lecture. You know what? People do not come to a party to get lectured. Oh God, I hope this doesn't hurt me with this constitution. I'll finish my speech if you allow it, Mr. President. That's up to the people of Benfi, isn't it, people? Now I'm gonna find out if I'm gonna get booed. It'd be hilarious if somebody threw an orange at my head. My big old bald head. I turned around to look at the crowd. The people immediately started booing Curtin. Boo! He ignored them and continued with his speech. Benfi has always been a beacon of culture, tradition, and religion. Many battles have been fought over this precious city. Boo that man! Army after army has tried to claim it for their own, but we fought back and won each time. We stand here thanks to the strong men who are able to protect their families, their lands, their way of living. Every day I praise God that we've succeeded so far. Scattered applause broke out from some of the older members of the audience. Yeah, I'm not going to boo God. I leaned over to Monica. Oh no, I got to do the joke. I can say he's extreme but right. Nah, I can say he sounds more like a peace politician. I ain't trying to get that pootie tang. I'm going to get it sooner or later. I'm going home with it. I got to make a joke. I praise God. He's only allowed to speak for another 2 minutes. Aw, snap. Shit, I can get catty. Meow to me. Monica stifled a short laugh. See, that's why we're together, baby. Yet traditions that form the very fabric of our society are being tested even as I speak. He looked pointedly at Monica. We must stay true to our values so that Sordland can prevail, so that Benfi can prevail. This was a white trash disaster. With these at the forefront, I'm convinced that Sordland will continue to be the greatest nation in the world. Honey, I'm the president of this country, and I wouldn't even pretend we're the greatest. No, so many people are better than us. I invite every single one of you to celebrate our roots and traditions at this holy Benfi festival. I hereby declare the festival is open. Praise God, praise Sordland, praise Benfi. Morgna Westcore. Vector and Sister, most of the people in the hall finished the decades-old saying, including me. Monica's lips moved, but she didn't say the words out loud. Bitches can be passive-aggressive. I say that as someone who can be a passive-aggressive bitch. He exited the stage as the band struck up the official festival anthem. I spent the rest of the evening alternatively watching the festivities and conversing with local politicians. By the time we got back to the hotel, I was exhausted. But thanks to the festivities still raging outside and the sound of Monica tossing and turning beside me, I couldn't sleep at all. Oh man, I gotta read the news. I gotta read the news about that giant debacle that just happened. Oh, that's nothing about it. Oh, man. Geopolitique. Wayland deploying special forces to Vernon. President Smolak has announced that the city of Vernon has been put under curfew along with 7 other towns in the northeast of the country. So Wayland is putting a curfew on towns that are near our border. Obviously, in their country, they have a right to do it. But it's near our border. The Wesnik army, their army, has deployed specially trained military forces in the, I assume, zone or area to combat the military organization known as the BFF, the British Freedom Front. That might be a problem for us. That might drive extremists into our country, or might drive us into a conflict with Wayland. I don't want that. We're trying to get some sort of agreement treaty with them. What else do we got going on? Already, here come refugees from there. Reports from our border in the Wessex city of Vernon show that there are about 1,000 people running away from Wessex military forces toward the Swedish border. So we're going to be taking in refugees that are running away from that with Wayland. And what else do we got here? The governor of Bergia reports hundreds of BFF collaborators. If he's right about that, that's not good. The governor of Bergia, Felix Braun, suspects that hundreds of Bluish Freedom Front collaborators are living inside of Dyer, posing a significant threat to national security. To counter this threat, the governor has proposed a series of measures, including increased surveillance and intelligence gathering, as well as the deployment of additional security forces to the area. Due to the extra authority vested upon him as the governor of the special zone, some of these measures can be implemented by the governor inside of Bergia without the approval of the central government. That might be bad. The governor has also suggested that community members be encouraged to report any suspicious activities or individuals. Oh man, that's not good. It's not good that he's got that autonomy as things are getting heated up. You can see this is Wayland right here. So the people who are fleeing from there are fleeing right into Bergia, where the governor of Bergia wants to make things tougher and stricter. I don't know. That's a problem for next time. Either way, this was a fun episode, going to the festival and just fucking it up Jerry Springer style. Monica's not all bad. Now, hopefully she's willing to talk to us again. I'll see you all, hopefully next time.